Hello, my name is Jericho Imperial, and this video is about my Meetup project. So, the meetup that I attended was hosted by ACM SIGGRAPH, which their organization stands for Association for Computing Machineries Special Interest Group. Down below, I posted a link to the specific meetup if you want to see. And to the left here, I posted my own screenshot of what I saw on my screen while I was in their Zoom meeting. This meetup was really interesting in my opinion. It talked about AI-driven photorealistic human digitalization. It was hosted on Zoom on January 28, 2021, and it spanned out to 6:30 p.m. through 8:30 p.m. PST. So the person presenting is named Koki Nagano. He works at NVIDIA Research, and his position is a senior research scientist. And they're mostly focused on photorealistic graphics, which you'll see soon. So Koki Nagano, in his presentation, he first introduced us to virtual AI and how he wanted to create it. He didn't say specifically which one, but it didn't really matter. He said that he wanted to create AI through hardware and through software. In order to create his goals, he wanted to create virtual AI from the bottom up. And one way was to go through deep learning to achieve human digitalization. To summarize this all up, he went really in depth with the graphics. It was really interesting. There's like some talks of like normals and like bumps. Um, it's like graphics in general. It was really interesting. And in this photo, he was talking about the challenges in deep learning, how there's many variables to feed the machine to learn, like the lighting, the position of the camera to the face, and all that, and the expressions that they're making, whether if they're weird or not or normal. Kind of like the woman on the left side, how she has her mouth open a little bit with a weird expression. I would say that looks kind of confused. I'm not sure. But yeah, it was really interesting. Another talking point that he had was deepfakes. He talked about what they are and how to spot them. So basically, deepfakes are like it's like a person wearing a mask, but very digitalized, and they if they're well done, they look really realistic and real. So you wouldn't know unless you know how to spot them. And the ways to spot them, he explained, were lip syncing, eye blinking, and irregular mouth movements. There was a lot of data that he showed, like scientific research data on deepfakes, on how people made them compared to like real life. He showed data about blinking, and then it was like a lot of numbers, and he showed a graph that related to that. So from the left to the right, there is obviously a deep fake, and then going on towards the right is like some sort of mapping. I'm not sure what it is. And then to the right of that is the texture of the face. So in the meetup, due to Zoom and everything, I didn't really meet anyone, but I guess you could say that I met Koki Nagano. The one question I asked him was, what's the difference between machine learning and computer generated human digitalization? And basically, he answered it all up, saying that CG is bottom up, and you have to build the foundation. Like you have to get like the what you have to get the textures. You have to like scan the face and whatever. You have to like sculpt the face. You have to um, lets you get like programs also like Unreal Engine and all that jazz. And then machine learning is the opposite. Is that you just feed it basically, and the machine does all the work, and depending on what you feed it, hopefully it will spew out a very good digital human. So my thoughts on this is that it was very interesting. I really like the topic that they were going for. And honestly, for this meetup project, I didn't think I would find something that was interesting. But since I did it early, I'm very glad that I got the opportunity to attend this meetup. And I just found out that they do this yearly, so that's a good thing to know, I guess. Um, what I learned is that I learned some new technologies like deepfake, and there's a lot of other technologies that I did not mention in this video, such as they want to like get vocal patterns as well into their human digitalization. Oh, and they also mention like some sort of codec that allows you to save a lot of data but look really good. So like for Zoom, how it's all pixelated. They have like a codec in the works that is reducing size and making the compression not that bad. And they're also working on their own software for like deepfakes and whatever. It's kind of cool. They showed like Kim Jong Un or whatever on some guy. It's pretty cool. But would I go again? Maybe if the topic is interesting. So for my school campus organization meetup, I attended the Zoom meeting for IEEE. On the left, you could see me and then one of the professors that are attending the meeting. They were in the talks of hosting a Google software engineer to speak for them, like what's it like there. They're also talking about merchandise and a micro mouse competition throughout the whole California school district. It was interesting. I didn't really know much about micro mouse. Like I saw some videos on it on YouTube like a long time ago, but I didn't think that they'll be talking about it here. To be honest, I didn't even know what was expected at a school club meeting, but you know, it was a good experience. There was like a couple of people there. Max was 12 at that time. It was pretty chill. So for Stack Overflow, I was doing something right and doing something wrong. So right now I'm taking this class, assembly, which they use MIPS, millions instructions per second or whatever. And I was having trouble storing a variable, which sounds kind of easy, but to me at that time it was kind of hard. So in MIPS, whenever you want to like read a string, read an integer, print out an integer, and all that jazz, you have to tell the computer to do it yourself, or else like it wouldn't even understand. And so you need a syscall, and a syscall is generally for a register called v0. And my problem was that I was trying to store an integer, and I did everything this guy did even before looking at it, and I kept getting the wrong input. And that reason was because of the store word v0 int, which means put whatever is in v0 into the variable int, and I also put a syscall right after it. So for an example, I put in the number 3 into the system, and the system puts the number 3 into the variable integer. And then I print out the integer again, and then it's 0.003 for some reason. And so the syscall part of it was a problem because I'm not telling the computer to read an integer or anything. I'm just telling it to store number 3 into integer. And so the syscall bugged things up, and so all I had to do was remove it. And it was a very frustrating thing because I was working on that for like an hour until I found out that syscall was only to like tell the computer to do certain things. So GitHub, what is GitHub? To me, GitHub is a collaborative hosted platform where people work together and update their projects. So I've used GitHub, but I've never made any contributions yet. I've used it to download stuff. Some like cool mods. I used it to like download some like Spotify UI changing thing, and it was really cool to see what people made like all together. And it's nice. And you can see here, this is my GitHub profile with only one contribution, which was the tutorial. But yeah, I've been using this for our project, and it's pretty nice. And again, my name is Jericho Imperial, and this is my video on my Meetup project.